Hey there! I hope everybody is having a great night. So I went live earlier and there was a little bit of confusion with time zones. And so I was hosting a live so that I could share a student spotlight inside my Pinterest Manager Academy. So if you are watching this on replay, really quick intro here. I'm Emily Bales. I am a Pinterest marketing and ad strategist. And for the past 4 years, I've helped my clients and my students increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. So tonight is all about sharing a student spotlight, and this student is amazing. She has seen amazing growth inside my Pinterest Manager Academy, and I've actually had people share, and I believe it was through an Instagram sticker actually. I was like, hey, what topics do you want to hear more on? What interests you? And one of the things that was mentioned was hearing success stories. So I want to kind of create this series not only for my Pinterest Manager Academy, but also for some of my clients, so people can see how Pinterest is changing and really helping business owners grow. But then also for people in my audience that are interested in becoming a Pinterest manager, learning more about what that looks like and how it's not only changed my life, but I don't have this unique skill set. I just had a roadmap, and now I created a roadmap for other people to follow, and that people can find success doing the same thing as well. So I'm not uniquely qualified by any means, and so I'm excited to kind of spotlight these ones from other people. So as you're joining, I hope you feel free to jump in the chat. Let me know what questions you have if you're interested in becoming a Pinterest manager. And I am going to bring in Michaela here. So like I said, I'm going to be hosting student spotlights regularly to share these successes and wins. So I'm trying to accept, there we go. Yay. Hey, thank you so much, Michaela. I'm so sorry. At the beginning of the live too, which a lot of people will probably be watching this on replay, but I was like, time zone issues, but we're here. We made it. Which, you know what I was thinking is that a lot of times when I have people book something, it usually goes through Acuity and it auto populates the time zones, and then I realize I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not specify that about it. You're here though. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and like I said, I'm excited to go live with you, and people will probably watch it on replay and stuff, but I think it'll just be so great to share your story. And like I said, you know, I have this roadmap, I followed it, but I think that sometimes it's hard for people to kind of like wrap their minds around what that will look like for them and if it will work for them. So before we get into that, I would love for you to just share a little bit about yourself and your background prior to joining the
So I went to college actually to be a teacher. That was like my dream job. And I taught kindergarten and I taught first grade and I loved it. And then my husband and I had our first baby, and it was so hard going. I had my first baby in April, and going back to school that August was so hard. And I was like, nope, I can do this. Like, mom power, I can get through this school year. And I made it all the way until April, and I was like hardcore looking for something else to do, because I was like, I can't go back next year. I have to stay home with my baby. And so just trying to look for something else to do is when I ran across your stuff. So
yeah. So, oh my gosh, Michaela, I don't think I'm like putting these pieces together. So did you not go back to your teaching job this year then?
You did, you did.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. No. Oh my gosh. So how do you feel not going back to the classroom? I know for myself, I had like this, I also left partway through the year though. So like our stories, for anybody that's watching the replay or joining us live, our stories are very, very similar from the standpoint that I was also a teacher. So I actually left mid-year. I did have a co-teacher, so there was consistency in the classroom, but you know, it's exciting to be at home with your baby. I kind of felt like torn, and I felt this sense of guilt, but it was also a huge relief. So I'm just curious to, you know, hear how it feels now this fall, and like everybody's going back to school, how it feels not to be going back.
I miss some of the aspects of it, but I also feel like I just feel really lucky to be able to be home with my baby and being able, like some of the Pinterest stuff that like they're one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to do this was because I could still help educators, and so I still feel like I'm helping them pin their content for back to school stuff, so I still feel like I'm a part of it even though I'm not physically there and able to do it, because I love all the fun and bright and colorful stuff that goes along with teaching. So
Yeah, I know. I felt the same thing. I was like, a way you still feel like connected to the classroom. And I think that it made me feel more comfortable in what I was creating and doing, because I'm like, okay, like I know this, I know the keywords. And for people who are watching us on replay, and if they don't have any knowledge of Pinterest, it is a search engine, and so it thrives off of keywords. And I think that in the beginning, I wasn't necessarily like trying to target teachers and work with them. And it just kind of evolved into like those were the type of people I was attracting. So tell me about a little bit about like your journey, like if you have specific type of business owners that you're looking to work with, or you know, what's going on with the clients, because you've had a ton of success already. So like you mentioned, you joined the academy in April, and I know you already have multiple clients. So I would love for people to just kind of hear what that looked like getting those clients, and if you were trying to specifically work with a type of business owner, or just trying to get experience.
When I first joined the academy and I was like, okay, like we're gonna do this, like I'm all in, then you actually had created a hire form where people could put through their information just to send to the people just in the academy, so that we could reach out to them and give them our little pitch of what we do and if they wanted to hire. And so that's actually where I got my first client, and she just so happened to be a teacher, and so I was super excited. And so after getting that first client, I thought, okay, I really like working with teachers. Like that's what I wanted to do initially. And so the second client that I had reached out to, she was also an educator. And so that makes it really makes it a lot easier when you know the keywords, just how you want the pins to look, because you know what you would want to look for as a teacher. So it really helps having that background in education to be in the education niche on Pinterest. But my third client actually is not in the education niche. She's just a mama who does some business stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, I have just done teacher so far, not necessarily intentionally. Like I'm just trying to get clients that I can as I'm venturing out, but venturing out to a new niche as well. So
yeah. So a lot of people they see these things on the internet where the marketer become the UGC creator. There's this new one, MMR, master resell. I don't even honestly know what it means, but I can see where people get really confused. And I do try to be transparent about that. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. There is you want to also tell people there is this earning potential that's wonderful, but you know, I see you and you've worked so hard. So what would you tell to people who feel confused about trying to decipher what's what, and how did you decide that, okay, I think this is going to work for me with the Pinterest management? Because obviously I feel, you know, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like it is aligned with the lifestyle you want. You've been able to take action. It seems like obviously you're really enjoying it. So I'm trying to kind of boil down that question because there's kind of multi-layers. So as far as people feeling confused by the different options, what would you say to them as far as, because I'm sure you saw other stuff on the internet as well, and that you were it was on your radar that you didn't want to go back to your job. And even if people aren't teachers, there's a lot of women out there that just know that they want to be at home and they want to have flexibility, even if it's, you know, being at home for their child when they get home and off the school bus, or they have appointments, whatever that may be. So between the different options out there, what would you tell people who are feeling a little bit confused? How did you come to that decision? So what would you tell them? And then how did you make that decision that this was right for you?
Right. So like you said, I really had been just looking for anything to make a side income or to replace my income. I was just researching everything. And I actually one day was sitting in the closet at school because I had to pump. And so it was during my break and I'm sitting there pumping and I just missed my baby and I'm scrolling through Pinterest across one of your Pinterest marketing pins. And I was like, hey, I'm on Pinterest all the time. This is like, as a teacher, I not only like would look for like resources, but also when I would get home in the evening, like that's how I would relax, is just to scroll through Pinterest and look at nails or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I'm on Pinterest all the time and I really love the platform. So that was really just the deciding factor for me. It's just that I'm already familiar with Pinterest, and so that's kind of how it went.
Yeah, I know. I will say, a lot of people that come to me, they're like, I use Pinterest all the time. I love Pinterest. And I think that one thing that's really different about it too is it is fun. And I think that it just feels different. It's really positive. I started off with social media management and I wish I would have listened to that intuition. You know, it sounds like you already knew that you had this interest and I didn't listen to that. I went what felt like the safer route to me. And I ultimately was like, okay, I don't like this. It wasn't for me. I mean, I use social media obviously all the time for my business, but it felt a lot different doing it for people day in and day out. So I think that, you know, looking at your success and seeing how fast you've taken action, I've told a lot of people about you who have reached out to me because they're also trying to figure out like, what is realistic with how fast you can get a client. And, you know, you do already have 3 clients. So I would love for you to touch on like, how do you think you have come to this success? Like, what did you do? So if somebody was like, you know, not that there's like a magic trick or anything like that, but like, what would you attribute that success to? And also, you know, it happened pretty quickly for you too, because I think people are worried about the amount of time it's going to take.
Right. So, I mean, your academy is amazing. Like just following through, going through the lessons, and staying consistent with going through the lessons, because at the beginning it starts to feel overwhelming. Like, oh wow, like I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just now starting out. And I think it would be easy to get stopped up within those first lessons to be like, oh, whoa, like I need to process, I need to slow down. But I think just because I just kept pushing through them and like, I may not know 100% what she's talking about, but I'm just going to keep listening to the lessons. And then you have so many action steps to take. So I would get through one lesson and it's like, oh, I have an action step to take. I can do that. Now I understand a little bit more. And just continuing to go through that until I got to the point that you were saying in your lessons, like, okay, here's how you get clients, and just following those steps. And that's literally what I did to be able to get those clients. So
yeah. Now you don't have like prior business experience, I know. And so like you were just getting started out. And one thing that I actually had somebody ask me about, and I am like, you know, that is a really good question. And I was coming to the freelance world as a former teacher. And how, like, was there anything that you had to like process or get over mindset wise in regards to reaching out to people and getting on discovery calls? Because I think that one thing that people feel like they're worried that they're gonna feel salesy. So how did you overcome that? Did you ever have that feeling? Or because I think that one thing that I've noticed obviously is that you are okay with consistently stepping outside your comfort zone and reaching out to people, sending the email, getting on the first discovery call. And I remember in Slack, it wasn't that long ago where you're like, oh, I have my first discovery call, I'm so nervous. And then you came to Slack and you're like, it went so well, I feel great now. And then you were even more prepared for the next one. So how did you get past that? And did you feel that sense of like, this is uncomfortable and I feel salesy, or did it not feel that way to you?
Yeah, it absolutely felt very uncomfortable at first, but actually like all of the things that I'm reading right now and podcasts that I'm listening to have just talked about like how you're not going to make progress unless something is uncomfortable and you do those uncomfortable things. And so just putting myself out there and doing it. And actually, I think you had put in Slack at one point and you said, don't make it feel like, or don't feel yourself like you're pushing this on people. Like this is a service that people want. They just may not know about you and how you provide it. And so just thinking of it in that mindset of, hey, they may not want my service, but they also don't know about it. So let me just tell them about it too. Helps with not feeling so pushy of like, I'm pushing myself and my services onto them, but more I'm just helping them. And if they want my help, they can take it. And if not, then that's fine. And I'll move on to the next person. So
Yeah. Well, I know that you were inspiring so many people to be like, okay, I just need to, whether it's taking a course or joining an academy or anything like that, like you got to take action. And I think that a lot of times, like the first step or first 5 steps, are going to be the most challenging. But I think that, what I saw with you is that you, from the very beginning, took action and it created this amazing momentum. So I would love to know, moving forward and seeing your progress as far as like having those 3 clients, how things are feeling financially, like what goals do you have ultimately, like as we think about, it's crazy to think that like we're already partway through August, like towards like the end, finishing up quarter 3, quarter 4, what goals do you have for your business?
Yeah, so like financial wise, like my initial goal when I joined the academy was to just replace my teaching income, which obviously teachers don't make that much. So I was like, I can do this, it's attainable. And I'm not even 6 months into the academy and I'm already halfway to my replacing my teaching income. So that's like amazing. And I know that now that I have some experience, like getting those next clients is going to be that much easier. And so my goals, like going into the rest of August and really throughout the rest of the semester until the end of the year, is to get a few more clients built up so that I can just replace that teaching income. And I think once I even get to that point, like my goals will change and I'll, want to get even more, like I don't want to stop. Like I really do love the Pinterest management, so.
Yay. I know I was talking to somebody in our community about that today. And that's the thing that's hard is like, with mindset. And I know you mentioned that you've been listening to different podcasts and books, and I do the same thing. And I think it's so important that we like continue to develop that mindset and learn new skills. And, I love reinvesting in my own education and skills. And I think it's like, what's a better thing to like invest in than yourself, right? That's something that people can't take away from you. And so I just love to see your growth and your success. And but where I was going with that though is like I know you mentioned that like you'll continue to set new goals, and it's hard because we do reach those goals, and then it's like we continue to move that like goalpost. And so, but it's good though, because it sounds so far away, and then before you know it, you will have fully replaced your teaching income. And like you said, you'll be setting, moving that goalpost again. And I just love to like how positive you have stayed, and it's been a huge encouragement to other people in the community and like inside our Slack. So for people who are watching this, when you join the Pinterest Manager Academy, you get access to Slack. And, whether you are in a course or a program, whatever, just finding like a group of people that you can share and support. And I just want to thank you for, joining the academy, putting in the work, and being an inspiration to other people, because they see your success and it makes them feel like, okay, like I can do this. I know that it's working for her. Like, so it's really uplifting to other people. So I just appreciate you so much. And I can't wait to see how much you do continue to grow. And I'm like, my wheels are already turning too about like, you're going to have multiple months of experience. And so like, we'll be revamping like your package prices as you get experience. And I'm excited to kind of, work on things and, like I said, continue to see your growth. So as we wrap up here, I want to honor your time. I know that you're a busy mama and you have multiple clients now that you're balancing and continuing to work on your own business. You, I know, are taking clients, right? I would love for you to share how people can contact you or book a discovery call if they are interested in hiring you as their Pinterest manager.
Yeah, so you can, if you are interested, even just chatting with me over a discovery call or just messaging. Email, if you want to email me, my email is hello.michaelalynn@gmail.com. If you want to head to my Instagram, just to my page, you can find my links to book a discovery call or just to shoot me an email or just send me a DM, like whatever. I can talk to you however you want, even just to chat about what you're looking for. So
Yay, I love that. And I hope that people absolutely reach out to you because I know you're amazing. What I'm going to do too is that after we wrap up this live, I'm able to like edit the description and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put your contact information in there so then people can reach out to you if they're interested in booking a discovery call. So I can't thank you enough for joining me and, like I said, inspiring so many other people, you know, not in the academy but also inside our academy too. It's you know, you've been amazing. So, and I also want to thank you for taking time out of your night to join me. So I can't wait to talk to you more inside the academy and, like I said, let you grow. So this is kind of a wrap. So any other parting things or anything you wanted to share?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me join the academy. When I first joined, I remember you saying like, okay, like I want to make sure that we're a good team. And I thought, okay, like what if I'm not a good fit for her? Yeah, overthinking everything. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, this is just perfect. Like, your academy is awesome, your courses are awesome, and you're so nice to talk to and to just have somebody to go to with all the questions. And you're so gracious in all of your answers, even if like my questions are stupid. And she's like, no, they're not. So
they are, by the way. Not at all. Sometimes I'm like, I feel like that I should have, you know, if anything, it gets my wheels turning. I'm like, I need to revise something. It's good for me to, they're always good questions.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Okay, well, I hope you have a good night, and I hope everybody else that watched this, you know, hope they find it helpful, and, you know, people can check out, like I said, the description for your contact information, and then, of course, you know, leave any questions in the comments, or reach out to Michaela if you want to chat with her and you're interested in her services. So I hope you have a good night, Michaela. Thanks again for joining me. All right. Bye.
Bye.